What is up, everyone? Welcome to Steve's Corner, and in today's video, we're going to be doing something different. Today, we're going to be talking about top 8 weirdest dreams, or nightmares, actually, that I've ever had. Now, before we get into this, let's kind of I gotta talk to you guys something about dreams. Let's just talk about what dreams really are. Okay, so, basically, before we get into this, one thing I do have is onirophobia. Onirophobia is the fear of dreams. So, the reason I fear dreams is because anything can happen in a dream, right? So anything can happen in a dream. Knowing that, if anything can happen in a dream, and for me, when I have dreams, of course, we all think it's actually happening sometimes, unless we know it's a dream. And so yeah, and I think it's happening, and then that's why I'm scared, because like I said, anything can literally happen in a dream. So what exactly is a dream? Well, a dream is something that can last... Okay. So what exactly is a dream? Well, a dream is something that we think up in our mind while we're sleeping. So when we close our eyes, deep in our brain, this untriggered thought, just something triggers in your mind. And this whole story happens in your head. You can see it, but you can't actually see it in real life, It's weird to think that when you think these things, you actually see them. It's, as far as dreams go, there's just not much, scientific things as to what a dream actually is and what they mean. So that is unanswered. The average person actually, believe it or not, has 5 dreams a night, and it seems very unreal. Because when we dream something, we seem to only have one dream. But all that dream aside, there's other dreams that we tend to have that we just forget. We have them at night, but then we forget them when we wake up. So the 5 types of dreams that are possible to happen is lucid dreaming, normal dreaming, nightmares, false awakening dreams, and daydreaming. Yeah, that's what it is. And yeah, so there's different types of dreams that you can actually have. Now, the type of dream you're having really just depends on what you're thinking throughout the day, and then at night you're actually still technically thinking about it while you're asleep. So therefore you picture it. So, to sum it up, like I said, dreams are basically just... A lot of them are triggered by what you think throughout the day. And therefore, that depends on the kind of dream that you generally have. Some dreams that we have, though, are just random dreams and weird dreams, just like what I'm about to talk about. They're just dreams that I don't understand, things I didn't think throughout the day, but they came, and dreams are just thoughts that just get triggered in your mind, and they just happen, really. I mean, like I said, though, there is really not a lot of information we have as far as dreams go. Now, me personally, I've had lucid dreams and stuff. I actually dream a lot, and I do remember a lot of the dreams I have, and that is, when I wake up, I remember a little bit of the details, and I just forget it throughout the rest of the day, But there is a lot of dreams that I do remember, and that's what I'm going to be talking about. Today, I'm going to be talking about the weirdest dreams that I've had, or specifically nightmares here, that I've had that I actually remember of. Of course, there is a lot weirder dreams I've probably had. Nightmares, too. Just dreams in general. There's probably a lot weirder ones, yes. But like I said before, you don't really remember every single dream you have, You might have this 5-second dream and stuff, and you just, you completely forget about it. There's a lot of dreams we have that we have no idea. Someone's going to ask you, if someone did ask you, hey, did you ever dream about this? And you're not, and you could say no, but in reality, you might have dreamed about something certain, you just don't remember. I have my fair share of dreams, There's sometimes when we wake up after a dream, and then we just think about it throughout the day. We're like, wow, what kind of dream did I just have, You think about the dream you had all day sometimes. If it's just a dream that really felt, real in your head, lucid dreams and stuff like that, And the thing, I actually like lucid dreams myself, because I get to do whatever I want in the dream, That's why I like lucid dreams. So, in the comment section, I want you guys to tell me what the weirdest dream is that you've ever had. Or, dreams that's always caught your mind. Because I've had dreams that caught my mind and things I still remember. Before we do get into the story, though, the last thing I want to say is some dreams that I have, and I'm not sure if the same thing applies to you guys anytimes, some of the dreams I have, I actually have constantly. You know, have you guys ever had a dream, but then another night you had the exact same dream? Maybe the story's changed up a little bit, but you have the same dream? Yeah, I've had that before. And in fact, one of the nightmares I'm going to tell you guys about, I've actually had multiple times. I think it's only one, though. So anyway, guys, without further ado, let's get into the dreams that I've had. Coming in at number 1, guys, we have what I'm going to call, I just have to make up these names for the stories. Anyway, this one we're going to call Mini Ocean. Now, what happened, where did this take place and stuff, that's what we're going to have to review every single dream. So, here's how the dream went. Of course, there was more to it. Let me just tell you what I vividly remember about happening in the dream. And let me tell you what might have actually triggered this, because I do know what actually triggered it. Okay, so first, let's get into what triggered the dream, first of all, because I know, matter of fact, I guarantee you this is what triggered it. So, the night before I actually had this dream, I was actually in a wave pool, okay? So, if you guys don't know what a wave pool is, it's like this pool, but they generate waves, here and there. There's actual waves, that they generate, and you have to, jump to the waves and stuff like that. So, a wave pool. I was at a wave pool, and remember, this is actually what happened in real life, and I'm just trying to tell you guys what might have triggered the dream I had, and, just starting off. So yeah, I was at a wave pool with my sister and stuff, and, just things like that. My older sister, and, not my oldest, my older sister, took us to a wave pool, had her fiance, had other friends coming over and stuff, and we had fun, and, it was a water park. So, but we don't really need to talk about what happened at the water park, because that's not the point. I just wanted to show you guys what triggered it, because I was in a wave pool that time too. That night, I actually had a dream. I'm not exactly sure, but I feel like it was like a party or something, because I had a lot of friends over in this dream. So, we were in my backyard, okay, and the backyard, the backyard was all flooded and ocean and and everything, but the water was brown. But this water is water. It would be deep enough for us to just swim in. It was weird. The whole backyard was covered in water. The backyard out there and stuff where you know what I mean, okay? So yeah, but the water was brown. Okay, I'm just trying to get into detail. And actually, before this even happened, we were actually in the pool. And this wasn't one of those big pools or anything, just a small pool, just have fun and stuff. And then all of a sudden, huge waves, huge waves coming in. Not really huge ocean waves, but like I said, this is a mini version of an ocean. But waves far larger than the ones that I was talking about at the water park. Waves coming in, brown waves, because this water was brown and everything. It was weird, okay? It was nasty, I think. It really was nasty. So, waves, probably, if I have to really be honest, the waves were probably, I'm actually, 5'3" or something. The waves were probably, up to here, or something, if I can be correct, somewhere, right here. And remember, these were actually brown and stuff. So, it's weird, because my whole backyard was covered in water, right? Okay, so the whole backyard's covered in water, and there was even waves coming, what it would normally be is a flood. Now, I know in floods, sometimes there can be waves, but these are, legit waves, and they weren't even all the way across. They were just separated waves. They were just kind of, this big around or something, and, I already showed you how tall, but, of course, the whole land was pretty much just water, but, yeah. But, I had a couple friends over there. The only person I remember that was there was, that I know there's more than just him, but I can't remember exactly who else it was that was there in particular. Exactly the people that it was. The only person I do remember and know that was in it was, my friend PJ Plays 42. He was actually there at the time in the dream. And, one thing I wonder is, when you have your friends in a dream or something, or someone one thing you want to know is, is that person having the same dream? You don't know. There can be people having the same dream as you. And there's, like I said, there's a lot of unknown stuff out there. So, anyway, that's dream number 1 for you guys. Now, it it wasn't really that scary, if I have to be honest. In fact, it was actually fun. Those waves and stuff. But it was just weird. In a way, it was a nightmare because it was a flood. The whole land was just flooded. So, this is number 1. So this isn't even the most severe one yet. And it just, I really didn't take it in as a nightmare, but it was technically a nightmare. I mean, the land was flooded, okay? Things like that. Number 2, guys, it's called Death House. Now, this actually, and I told you guys there was one dream that I had that I actually had multiple times. Make that 2, actually, because there's this one and another one. Okay, so this is a second weirdest nightmare I've had. And this is where, by here and so forth, it's actually scary for me, Okay, so, I don't even know where to start. I mean, I kind of know where to start. So, let's just start, well, okay, hold on, just give me a minute. I'm just trying to figure out, what to say first, because, it's just particularly weird. So, okay. I had a dream that, I was actually going to die, even though there was nothing wrong with me, okay? So, the way this worked was, and I don't know exactly where this took place, unless it was just somewhere I imagined, really. Just someplace I imagined, I guess. We'll just say that. Not really any place in particular that really even exists. So, I was having a tomb made for me, okay? Not really just any old tomb. I'm talking a whole thing bigger than an average house. A huge tomb. They were digging out lots of dirt. And this was for me to be buried alive. Okay? My parents and my sisters and just my relatives, they knew exactly what was going on. But no one cried. No one gave a crap. I gave a crap. But there was nothing wrong with me at all. They were just going to bury me and have me dead for no reason. And I don't know. And guys, I don't really know exactly why they were doing what they were doing. The dream really just started with them working on it, but there was no information in this dream as to why I was getting buried. So yeah, I mean, they were digging out this area, and if I have to really be honest how big of an area it was, I can't really say. I would say about 1,000 feet by 500 feet. Or 1,000 feet by 750 feet. Just for me to be in. Okay? Just for me. So when they were digging out this place, they also had these fancy walls set up. There was really, no decorations in general. But there were these walls. And they were there was entrances like this. They were kind of start like a U-shaped entrance. Like an upside down U. Kind of like this. All over the walls, all over. There was one right here, one right here, one right here, one right here. And don't ask me why they had all this set up so fancy, but they did. So they dug all this out. They put me in there. And, there really isn't much more to say, but they started covering me up, and that's when the dream ended. So this one's really got into my mind, these get to my mind, why did I even, because I didn't really think about this. This is, one of those kind of dreams I didn't think about that just came up. I don't know why in the world. There's nothing that should relate. I didn't even know what being buried alive was at the time. But I've actually had this dream more than once, to be exact. But the one I remember in detail the most is the one I just told you. So yeah, guys, that's dream number 2. They just, they started burying me, and that's when the dream ended. What exactly happened? So, the questions are, why was I even being buried to begin with? Was anything even wrong with me? Because, for all I know, in the dream I felt good, because you can't really feel anything, this and that. You can feel scared, but you can't, feel sick in the dream or something. Just stuff like that. And there was really, no one really cared. No one was crying or anything about me being buried. I just was getting buried. For no reason, really. There was no evidence to back up why I was actually getting buried, but I was. And to this day, it's just mysterious. Why do we dream what we do, I mean, and the reason we dream what we do is because we think about it. I didn't think about it. It just came up. So, that's story number 2. Weird nightmare number 2. Let's get on to number 3. Dream number 3, and this one's particularly funny just to consider what the whole theme is about. Anyway, okay, so this was, I mean, obviously, as I was doing it, scary, but, right now, it's kind of funny, okay? A leprechaun was trying to kill me, okay? Now, this is just particularly weird. More weird than really scary. So, the first part I remember, was being in my house, and I don't know really exactly what happened while I was there. I was in my house, okay? So, then I went to who knows where, just some room in my house. I don't even know what it was. And don't even ask what, but this is so weird. But, there was a plush, Star Wars Darth Vader just standing in the middle of the room, and then, because the eyes on it was, like, kind of like, like, shiny, and then the shine on the eyes just started moving around. I don't know, guys. I really don't know. Okay? And then that happens. I guess I get scared because I'm like, oh no, it's haunted. Oh gosh, okay, I gotta get out of here. So I get out of here, alright? And keep in mind that there was this, like, leprechaun too that was, I guess, somewhat evil. There is a leprechaun movie of an evil leprechaun, but, there wasn't much. Okay, so if I have to be honest, I'm not sure if this dream took place around St. Patrick's Day or if it was just a random dream, because, like I said, there's just random dreams that come up, And then there was this, all of a sudden, outside, it was really dark, but I can see out, the window, there was a leprechaun, and I guess there had to have been some point in the dream, because I can't really remember in detail, but I do remember having something about some kind of leprechaun, and I know it was evil and trying to kill me. So I saw the leprechaun outside. I'm telling Mom, the leprechaun's outside. She was just in her bedroom, and I saw the door open, but she wasn't even looking at me. She just sat there like she knew what was going on, but she wanted the leprechaun to come get me. That, or she didn't even care because I kept yelling out to her, said, the leprechaun's out there that's trying to kill me. She didn't even look at me. She didn't say nothing. She just kept doing the laundry or whatever the heck she was doing. And it ended like that. Okay, that's just a weird dream. Let's just get on to number 4, because I have no words for that one. Number 4 out of 9. Okay. So this one is kind of, okay, it's weird. Really, there's a lot of weird details in this one as well. So to start this out, first of all, this took place on, my land. This took place here. But, basically all the dreams where I know where they took place at my house. If I know where they took place, it was here. So, anyway, so to start this off, because there's a lot of weird things. Now, this one, I don't even know where to start. So, let's just start, kind of. Okay, so let's just say that Oliver and Elliot, Ghost Plays 99 and Awesome Slayer 44, they actually had a cousin I didn't know about. And apparently, she had a house right in front of our land. If you guys know where I go out the front door, the porch, and there's the driveway and stuff, and then there's the middle yard after that. Yeah, that's kind of where their house was. So, okay. Out of nowhere, I guess they just have a house on our land. I don't know. So, not really much to know about them. I didn't really talk to them much. They were just some random person I didn't even know about. Oliver and Elliot didn't say they had a cousin like this. I don't know what their name was or anything like that. They were just some random cousin. That night, all of a sudden, apparently they're evil or something in this dream, because don't ask how it happened, but they do have this room in the middle of their house at the top, and apparently I just teleported in there or something. I'm not even sure. And I was just on this chair, and there was no doors to get out or anything. And I guess I was just left there and stuff. The cousin left, so I was just on this chair, really, in the middle of this room that didn't even have a door connected to it. So how did I get in there? I don't know. And I was just sitting in that chair. I couldn't get out of the room. And apparently they're the one that took me in the room to begin with, just for me to sit there and die. So apparently that makes them evil. Yeah, and Oliver and Elliot knew about this. They threw a rock at the window, it shattered, and I got out. And now the rest of it has nothing to really, the rest of the story, I'm not even going to say nothing about the cousin. But, I'm saying and stuttering because I don't, of course I gotta remember the detail of the dream. This is a dream. I didn't actually see this, and this didn't actually happen. In my house, apparently now my house is completely empty, just white walls and stuff, okay? Now, it felt normal in the dream, but obviously in real life, now that I'm awake, it don't feel normal, but that's what was in the dream. My house was just completely empty. And I guess that was normal for the dream. And it was just white walls and everything everywhere. I'm just telling you the theme. And this dream actually lasted a really long time, but I'm just getting into the detail of what's important. So then my driveway, all of a sudden, from when you come out of the porch, the left side of the driveway, it was a huge cliff all of a sudden. And all that was left was like train rails like going up, but those were even cut off at some point. And all it was a cliff. And that's all I can really say for that dream. So again, really just weird details to think, but that's what it was. So anyway, that's dream number 4. Let's get to number 5. Dream number 5 out of 9. Apparently this one is actually another one that I've had more than once. Probably, if I have to be honest, 4 times or 3 times or something. I don't know. Because I started having this when I was little. And to this day, I haven't recently had this same dream. Neither have I with the being buried or anything recently. But this is something I'd have when I was little all the time. So this is a dream where there was this underground fort, just out of nowhere. We don't know where this took place. Okay, this was just at nowhere. I don't know where it was. It was just in a random place. This was like some underground tunnel that took you to this, pretty nicely decorated place. It had cages. It was almost like a ancient kind of looking place, underground. And, there was almost like this little game that you would play, and it was like you had to try to walk to the end of it, because so it wasn't really straight down, actually. In fact, it was actually, think about it as a macaroni needle. The tunnel kind of like was like this. It kind of just went, till the end was like at the end, and the end wasn't actually far away from the start. It's just you couldn't really ever get to the end. So my dad, and like I said, this was underground, so here's actually how it's shaped. So here's where you start. It goes under, and then it's kind of like from under. So here's like the general shape. It's like under, and then you're kind of going this way, and then from that point, it kind of just curves like this. So it's like that, the whole tunnel. And then there's a door at the end to another part of it, but in any of my dreams, I never actually got past it. So like I said, this was neatly decorated. My mom and dad were actually just sitting there. And I started moving and moving and moving. And there was this monster. It looked like lungs. And it was some kind of monster halfway through the tunnel before I can even get to the end. And I was like really scared, like, because there was just something that really scared me. And mom was complaining like, yo, there's like a monster. And my dad's like, yes, babe, that's what there's going to be there. Like, my dad knew there was a monster, but apparently it wasn't dangerous like I thought it was. So that went away. So, like, that's the lung monster. But then, you keep going, and there's this really weird, monster at the end of the hall. Let's just say it kind of looks like, the best description I can really give it is it kind of looks like Goofy from Mickey. That's, like, the best I can find with anything. So, I don't know, something like that, like a monster version of that. At the end of the hallway before I even got there, but more farther out. And yeah, and at the end of the hallway was actually just this cage. Not a cage, but like a caged door. That there was something beyond that, like that was like all level 1. In any of my dreams, I never got past that door. In none of my dreams, so I don't know what is beyond that. So that's dream number 4. Or is it? Or is it 5? I don't know, but I'll know. Let's go back to the next dream. Dream number 6 now is actually a weird one in particular, because dream number 6 is a dream where I'm actually trying to get out of the dream. That's all the dream really was a dream of me trying to get out of the dream, so a nightmare. So what was happening in this dream is I knew I was dreaming, but for some reason I couldn't wake up. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm dreaming, okay, this is a dream. Now we've got to try to escape this dream. And I couldn't just simply wake up. didn't work like that. I didn't wake up. I had to try to escape the dream at some point in the dream. There was just a way of escape. Now this is really weird. There's just some really weird details, and this is probably like the particularly weirdest one. Not the scariest one, but just the weirdest one in general. And yeah. Anyway, here's how it went. Sorry, because I have allergies and this is just itching and whatnot. Anyway, so it was the first theme that it starts in was really just this office looking, white room, just an office. In the middle of it, and this is really weird. You guys are gonna cringe, kind of like what? But there was this box that you had to step on to get to the next destination, like the next part that has a chance of being you in your real life home, or out of the dream. And this box, like, let me be specific on what this box was. This box specifically was a box for a Nerf bow and arrow that you had to step on. So particular kind of box. Don't ask why it had to be this particular, why it had to be this type of box. Don't ask me, because I don't know, but that's what it was. So anyway, you had to step on this box, like, so it was kind of like, okay, we stepped on it and we go to our next destination. There's a chance that our next destination is actually the, real life. But no, so it took multiple step-ons, and I'm not exactly sure what all the destinations were. There is one that I thought was my room. I'm like, oh, I'm finally awake. But nope, it wasn't. So I stepped in the box, and there was this one other person that is actually from school that I didn't even talk too much, but they were there, and they were stepping on the box, too, as if they were trying to get out of the dream. And, so I stepped on the box, and I stepped on it multiple times, going to different locations, places I don't know. And then this one time I stepped on the box, and I was in my room, my empty room, but for a second I'm like, oh, I'm finally out of the dream. But nope, I wasn't actually out of the dream. And then I eventually teleported back to the office to step on the box again. And I kept doing this over and over until eventually I actually woke up. So this was weird because it's like, wait a minute. So you had no rights to what am I saying? I can't even say things right. You have no rights to wake up, and you have to step on a box and eventually just hope you wake up. I know. The point of it's weird because that was the whole point of the dream, was to try to get out of the dream. The whole point of the dream was to try to get out of it. Don't ask me why in the world this is a thing, but it is. Hold on, let me sign into my computer really quick. Okay, so yeah. That's dream number 6. Let's get on to number 7. This next dream is called Murder Trucker. Now, this dream, was pretty much where we were trying to get murdered on purpose by somebody, okay? Now, I know, that's pretty brutal. But anyway, so here's how it worked. I was obviously scared. I wasn't wanting to die, So, on our land, again, this is where this actually takes place, out on the driveway. Now, we're on the driveway, and when I say the driveway, I don't mean just straight up walk out in that driveway. I'm talking about the driveway that's farther out, that goes towards the garage and the barn and stuff, the one that I used to say was haunted and, whatnot. So that's where this kind of took place, in that particular driveway. I guess apparently there was some dude coming in this big old truck, and he was driving towards our house, just to come stab us, and then put him in the back of his truck, because that's where all of his dead bodies were, apparently. He came and he opened his door. The first thing I see is, inside of the actual truck, like not just the truck, I meant like the trailer that goes to this truck, full of dead bodies. Full of dead bodies of random people I don't know. And I'm like, whoa, what the heck? There's dead bodies in there. And he's like, yep. I mean, he seemed like a nice guy, but he was actually a murderer. He seemed like a nice guy in general, though, other than him actually just murdering us. So, then after that, he grabbed out his knife, and my sister, Alicia, was going first. He stabbed her hand, and her hand just started spurting out blood, and that's when it ended. That's all there really was, so it's weird. So, he stabbed my sister's hand, and it wasn't like it spurted out blood, really. I mean, like I said, but what it was more like, it was like her hand was like cracking. And it was like red for like blood. Weird, right? And that's where it ended. But the last thing I heard was my mom saying, "Oh my gosh," and then it ended. And it's pretty creepy thinking about it right now. But that's how it went. So, not gonna lie. Let's get on to the next story, and we have 2 more. Okay, guys, this next one is actually called the face ripping game. Now, in this story, this is probably the most frightening one, if I have to be honest. And I really think this is still creepy. Now, first of all, let's start by saying that the players of this was actually a game in the nightmare that you had to play, and the chances that your face rips off. So this starts with the players being my mom, me, and Oliver, which Goose Plays 99 if you want to call him that. We're playing this game downstairs at the coffee table, you know, in the living room, and all the walls are actually black in this one, and not like that's not how it is at all in real life. The walls aren't black, but in this dream, of course, they are, because things in dreams are just weird. But anyway, here's how the game worked. So, like I said, we were just sitting at our coffee table. It was me, Mom, and Oliver, and that's the only people that were playing. And there was like the dream started with like an intro of who was actually going to have their face ripped off, and it was Oliver. But then it was like it's like I predicted in my mind, but then we still played the game anyway. Now, if this was a real game, I won it. Now, let's get into how this game worked. So, there was this board that you had to put your face on. You know, you just have to put your face on it. And the board was actually like a blackboard with this like eyeball in the middle. Now, there's actually a real life picture of that, and I had it in my dream, and I'll show you right now. So that was what it was. Now let's get into that's what the board would. That was what the board was, and that's exactly what it looked like. So the first person that went, so here's how it worked. You put your face on the board like this, and then you'd have to lift your face up, and there was a chance that your face would come off with the board. As you removed your face, there's chances that your face would go with the board. So, you know, me and my mom did it. Mom did first, and she went, you know, she put it up, her face was fine. Oliver did it. He put his face on the board, lifts it up, and he's fine. I do it, lift my face up, I'm fine. So with that whole round, no one got their face ripped off. My mom does it again. She's like, you know, well, her face is fine. Oliver does it, and this time his face. You guys know how like pizza is, like when you like I'm just trying to give a clear description. You guys know how like pizza is, like when you take like a slice of pizza and you rip it off, and like how like it's like gooey, you know, the cheese is like gooey and it doesn't just come off in one thing. Like the cheese kind of just sticks to the board, and it's just kind of like, yeah, you know, that's what makes pizza look good. Let's just say that's kind of how our face was when it was coming off the board. Yeah, our face was like just gooey coming off the board and stuff. Oliver's face, his face started coming off the board. He was like this, and then he didn't take his face off quite all the way yet, and he's just like, and then his face just started ripping off of him. And he didn't scream or anything. It just happened. And then Mom's like, "Oh, Oliver," or something. And I'm just in shock, you know, myself. And under his face was all kinds of maggots and bugs and everything, and that's just all there was to it. Really weird dream, right? Just to have a game where you have your face ripped off by chance. Guys, if this was a real game, I would not be playing it, and I don't think you guys would be either. Right? Yeah, heck no. This final one will be called Blown Up Land, and this one is weird. Okay, so the dream started out normal. It was actually turning summer, and I think this dream actually took place right before summer, or before we were going to put our pool up. So we were going to put our pool up, and you know, and oh, my bed's made. I don't know why I looked back at it. My bed's just made. Anyway, so we were setting our pool up, and this was actually going in a normal dream halfway through. And then all that's going on, the pool's getting set up. All of a sudden, you know, there's a Minecraft creeper, right? In the game Minecraft. Let's just say the thing that was on my land was like a Minecraft creeper. I went up to it, and it was like in slow-mo, about to blow up. And this was actually like a creeper, but it was like mechanical or something. Weird, right? There's a mechanical creeper or something in my dream. It was about to blow up, but they kind of put it in slow-mo. Actually, no. Before I did this, I actually went up to it. Well, because it was about to blow up, and then before it blew up in slow-mo, I actually went back so it didn't blow up, The second time I did it, and this time it did explode. But when it exploded all of our land. And all our land was dirt at this point. But the pool was still there. Weird. Okay, at least we had the pool, right? So all the land was just dirt. pretty much. And I don't know, I think the pool was still there, but like I said the pool was still there, but I'm not actually quite sure. And all the grass that you saw, now it's not grass, it was dirt now. And that's how it ended. So, that's 9 dreams for you guys. That's 9 weirdest dreams. Comment below what your guys' weirdest dream is. Well, guys, what did you like the best out of my dreams? And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.